Yo, 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 yo! What's up, all you burner stoners and potheads, and especially all you gardeners out there? This is Mr. Weedman and Big Earl with the Weedman 420 Chronicles, the Grow Hour. Big Earl, my brother, how the hell are you?
I am doing very well, man. How are you?
I'm doing fucking great. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I'm going to get baked with you and Mike from Straight A Genetics, our fucking guest of the night of Burpin the Bag, baby. What's up, Mike? Back in the house. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, doing good. How are you guys doing tonight?
I know you're doing great because you did a fucking fiery hot dab right before we started, so I know you're doing better than me.
Feeling pretty all right now.
That
Nothing
looked
like
like
a
some
dab.
that looked like some terpy dab you took too. You want to give a little shout out who you got that from? You look beautiful.
This is actually from a buddy of mine out here, local to the Southern Oregon area. That's Panty Dropper Melts.
Nice. I like the good old panty dropper.
It does
Is
the
Deb
trick.
with you? Is Deb
Yeah,
with
she
you
is
tonight?
here. She
Deb,
is
give a little
here.
wave hello.
She can't hear you because we're on the thing, but she said
That's
you
right,
give
but
a
she can
little
pop
wave.
in and say hi.
I see y'all's waves.
How you
She
doing,
sees
Deb?
waves. She's kind of stuck because her legs broke, but she waves back.
Nice. What's that big fat doink you're smoking on right now?
This is a Jeffrey joint, basically. It's just a combination of a bunch of stuff that I had. So there's a bunch of stuff from our outdoor from last year, a little bit of Gary Biscotti, some Cherry Topia, just a bunch of fire stuff mixed together. Uh, I should have had some hash inside of it too, but it's pretty good without it. I got the hash on the side, you know what I mean?
I feel you.
So
Yeah.
Big Earl, what you smoking on, brother?
This one's a Stanky Haze. I rolled up the peach drink as well.
Oh my gosh, the
Nice,
stanky
there you go.
haze. Big Girl stopped by the house a couple weeks ago and he had a little nug and we rolled a joint of it and that fucking shit put me on the fucking couch for a minute. I kind of lost myself in the ozone, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
when the
right,
cure, there's like this
absolutely.
white pine coming out of it. I'm super geeked to see it in another month or two.
And
Ooh,
I'm smoking a strain from Big Earl too called Sour Poo. And it is
Nice.
sour.
Let's say, does the name fit?
Yes. Yeah. The upfront
Let's do
taste has
more
got a little
sour.
bit of ting.
Say more
Got a little
sour,
ting.
less poo.
Yeah, I thought it was
Gotta
gonna
get
be a
you
little more funky, but all of them
the
are real
Pacific.
sour.
There's the strain, the Pacific Northwest dog shit, aka Electric Boogaloo. You got to get that in the mix, and then you can up your poo game.
Yeah.
Well, listen, talk about Electric Boogaloo. I used to love that movie, Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. Man, I have to do the fucking worm all the way down the street to that fucking movie.
You got me beat. I don't know if I've ever tried to do the worm in my whole entire life. Now you got me thinking. I'm like, fuck, dude. I wonder if I could even do that shit.
Wait, don't do it now because you and
Not
Deb might
now.
both be on crutches.
Yeah, but or a broke arm or clavicle or something cool. Can't even sign my clavicle.
Oh fuck, that's too good. Yeah, man, that was a good movie back in the day. I'm showing my age a little bit though, so I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up in the Bronx, New York, in the breaking era, so I watched it all happen. I mean, I was fucking 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old when all that was
Right in the
going
mix,
down.
huh?
So I do enjoy a little breaking every once in a while, but now I'm afraid to. Now I might break my leg or break my arm or bang the old noggin up. Now trying to do a head spin or something. Who knows?
Oh man, I couldn't imagine doing one of those head spins either. I look at them doing that, and I'm like, I'm getting dizzy watching you do it.
The shit they do now, man,
Yeah, it's
compared to
incredible.
when breakdancing was on in the early '80s, the shit that I'm seeing
Yeah.
now with these young peeps are doing is out of this world, man. It's just like whoa. They took it to they took it they took it to the next level. Just like your breeding skills, they took that to the next fucking level. And this is what we're here to talk about today. We'll move on for breakdancing.
That's right.
We'll talk about breakdancing another time, but so glad to have you back, Mike, and
Glad to
Straight
be
A
back.
Genetics. And I've been following you now for a while, and some of the stuff you've been posting has just been off the fucking chain. The terpiness,
Appreciate
the trichomes, and the look, and just man, I wish it was smell-o-vision because it probably
I know.
smells
Let's
amazing.
say everything that you can't see is the best parts of it. The smell, the taste, the effects, the things that you can't really put into a picture. Now the pictures are great, and don't get me wrong, I do try to make pretty weed too. But my end all goal is to have some really tasty weed that gets you high. And
Nice. Love
there's
it.
a big spectrum for that, but that's the goal.
So before we get started, like some of the questions that I got for you, the talk, when you talk about taste, and this is the thing today that I think a lot of people don't understand what weed has always been, especially the last 15, 20 years, but the last like 5, maybe on the West Coast it's different, but here in the Midwest, especially here in Illinois, people don't go for taste unless you're a home grower or you're somebody that understands the value of the terps. A lot of people here in Illinois still look for the high THC because they think that's what it's
Yeah.
about, and
I
they're learning. We're a little different. We're a little behind by many years.
Shit, dude,
So
you're not. I think that's consumers nationwide, even in areas like I'm from Cali, but I'm in Oregon, and there's a plethora of from low grade to high grade, and everything in between. And black market dispensary doesn't matter. There's quality out there, and then there's mostly shit. But people are only looking for high test numbers. So you have something that's testing above 25% or closer to 40% these days, or even above 40% in some cases, which is something to be argued.
Yeah.
Um, Typically, when you see tests that are up in the higher, or up, I'm sorry, 40 and above, it's usually because the product that was tested was a little drier, and when it's drier, it makes the tests higher.
and and
So
real quick, is that because, like I said, when I bake, I decarb my weed and I put it at 240 for an hour, and you're taking that THCA away and bringing up the THC content higher. You're bringing out that THC instead. But let me ask you a question: is that are they drying it longer so they take out that THCA and they get more of the THC? How are they doing that to get to that high of a? Because that's ridiculous. I mean, I didn't know a strain can ever get that high. So straight grow, I don't even enjoy it. Like I mean, hash is different, but I'm just saying I don't know if there's no flavor. I mean, I've smoked the 32%, 33%. The shit was drier than it crumbled. It was like dust, like in the wind.
yeah, now that's, don't
But
get me wrong.
there's no
There might be
taste.
some.
There's no taste at all.
Yeah, the drier it gets, the less taste you're gonna have in the weed, plain and simple. You're gonna looking for a moisture level between 10 and 12% typically for some good weed. Like that's what you're looking for. If it's testing lower than that, then it's probably gonna be on the crumbly, dry, dusty side. If you're gonna do that, you might as well, put it in a keef box first of all, so you can actually catch all the trichomes that you're gonna dust off of it, so you can actually put that keef back onto a bowl or whatever. I mean, if you have a big enough keef box, the more keef you get, you can squish it in a rosin press and make yourself some at home rosin. You know, oops,
Yeah. I cook with that though too. I usually throw on my keef when I'm making my butter.
that's a good idea too.
Little sneak attack.
That's probably a
You
better
know it's
idea, to be
coming.
honest.
The reason you see that too, Mr. Weedman, is because the less moisture that is in the flour, the less like actual like substance that is in the flour. So
Yeah,
if it's
exactly.
30% of a flour with 10% moisture, when you take 7% of that moisture away, the actual
What's left?
content of the flour is lower, so that the percent of that THC will now be higher, kind of shit.
Yeah, it's
It's like if
perfectly
you,
explained.
yeah. So I see our cannabis right now as like we're in like that high school college phase still. We're looking for the Everclear. We want the alcohol
Right.
content. We want the whiskeys the high proofs. And we're the big difference is that we're with alcohol, that other stuff doesn't make a huge difference medicinally, and with cannabis that other stuff is like everything medicinally.
Right. Yeah, it's like there's still stuff that we're not able to, I think, identify what's actually happening. And well, there's three of us here, four including Debbie. We each all have our own endocannabinoid system, which each in part receives and processes the cannabinoids differently. We could all smoke the same thing and have very differing effects that we process differently. So there's too much people saying this and that about certain strains or their strains, this and that. Like there's what they call the entourage effect, and it affects people differently. So if your strain is able to do the same thing over a broad spectrum, then I think then you could say, oh hey, yeah, this is, more of a sedative or more of a euphoric or more of a couch lock or whatever. You could have oh, this is an energetic high where you want to get outside and go fucking look for morels or whatever, like something
I like
that's
your
there's
style.
just yeah, we've been doing that. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah. Good
Get out there
deliration.
and hunt people.
Now, when you talk, I know I've studied the endocannabinoid system a little bit. I went to school a little bit to learn about cannabis, and when you talk about the endocannabinoid system, no, too, everybody has a different endocannabinoid system, but it also goes through your CB1 and CB2 receptors, and that's how your body's actually truly taking it in, along with your
Right?
anandamide, which is all in your brain and stuff too. So you have to realize that everybody's body is unique to that. So some strains, like I was talking to Hummingbird Hills, and we were talking about cheese strains, and I don't like cheese strains because they do me dirty. I'm not saying they don't taste right. That any cheese line, when I smoke it, does me dirty. It fades me out. I get sketched. I don't. It makes my
Ooh.
body feel weird. But when I cook with it, when I cook with a cheese strain, fucking different type of high. Like
Wow. This is like
go
enjoyable. You would
go to sleep, relax on the couch, nice night, love it. But smoking cheese strains, no. Mrs. Weedman, on the other hand, she smokes a cheese strain. I've never seen a woman laugh and cry at the same time. Only her, and it's when she
that's
smokes a
awesome.
cheese strain.
Just got the UK cheese, so be looking forward to some UK cheese crosses in the near future.
There you
Nice.
I
go.
say near
There you go.
future, 6 months to a year range. We just got the cut in. We already have a badass male on deck that'll be on deck. He's backed up heavily, uh, so that's not a problem.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, but I feel like what you're saying with this whole everybody's body is different. Everybody's gonna take to that strain differently. Everyone's gonna taste differently because I never get good taste. I have shitty taste buds, and I feel terrible about it because that's when I was asking you about flavor. You
Yeah,
know, I don't I get maybe one hint of something or I don't get any, and that's just because I smoked for 20. I smoked cigs for 20 years. So I mean, my taste buds are shot, and I've been smoking weed since I was 13 years old. So I mean,
I smoked
it,
cigarettes for almost 14, 15 years myself. I totally understand.
yeah. So it sucks. I don't get to enjoy the flavor. So I go off of a strain on how the effects work for me, and I can smell really well. I have a really good schnoz. Let's see. I got the Italian
There you go.
schnoz, so I can smell really good. Only out of one nostril because the right one's been
Yeah,
broke so many times being punched in the nose. It's a little crooked too. See that? See it's a little
yeah,
crooked.
man.
Yeah,
Took
I've
one
been
to. Bah!
I've been punched. I take it to the nose pretty good.
Yeah, it's
So
like protect
I
my
can only smell.
nose.
I can only breathe out of one nostril, but I still have a good smell. So that's what I base my taste on because you taste through your nose anyway. Just
Yeah,
like Toucan Sam. What does Toucan Sam always say when you talk? I talk about terpenes the way Toucan Sam talks about Fruit Loops.
follow your nose.
You got it, brother. You got it because it always knows, right?
Yeah, man, your
So
nose knows.
I taste through my olfactory glands through my nostrils.
Yeah,
So
that's what you
remember
want.
that, people, too, when you're out there when you're smelling a good strain, like when people talk about skunk strains and they get that whiff, that nose. Yes, when you smell a good bottle of wine or you smell a good craft beer, good IPA, that's your nose doing, or good food, whatever you're into,
Oh yeah.
your nose is going to tell you what it's actually truly going to taste like. So I rely on my schnoz when it comes to cannabis.
The funny
Does
thing
that make
about
sense?
cannabis, oh yeah, there's so many different things that cannabis can mimic. Like obviously oranges, lemons, blueberries, strawberries, cherries, uh, fuck,
Chocolate.
papaya, just all these different flavors throughout the spectrum, right? Then you have like the chemical side, petrol, fuel, all these different like degrees of gassiness to fueliness to fucking hot garbage to fuccking just you name it.
They can do
You know what I
everything.
mean?
Spices,
And it's
pines, different kinds of woods. Like
literally everything. And I think that that's fun. It's fascinating.
Do you breed for strain specific or do you breed for flavor and taste and smell?
I've been going for flavor. At first, I think it was more of like wanting to preserve certain things that I liked. It wasn't even either or. I was just so new and I didn't really know. I was like the idea of combining things and the idea of preserving things. That was like the big thing to me. It was like, oh hey, I like this clone only. I don't know how to clone for shit right now, but I have this male. You know what I mean? Like if I hit this male that I like already onto this female, then I can at least have it in seed form. I know that 50% of the population should be this clone only in theory. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a little bit more than that, but
You hunt 100 of them, you can probably find it again.
yeah, the odds are that you could find it again if you hunt through enough of the seeds.
How do you like to make your seeds then? And now that you know you're going towards a flavor profile, right?
That was my early days.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I know a lot of different strains. I know uh, a lot of the history of a lot of different strains. I know a lot of different breeders. I know a lot of different people that are just holders of certain varieties that have been around for quite some time. Made a lot of good friends. Networked pretty tough the past 5 years. No, I'll hit that still. We need another one, please. She's about to put it out. I'm like, nah, there's like 4 or 5 hits left.
There you go. That was a
But ba-
honker too, man. I'm proud of you and Deb on that one, man. That was a fucking
oh yeah,
doink.
we smoke, dude. I'll do another dab right now and smoke a whole nother one of these. Let's go. No, but seriously though, like
I want to come hang out with you and Deb one day.
should well, one of these days we all there needs to be some sort of like big enough sesh event soiree type of deal where we can all get together. It'd be somewhere in between where we all live, so it's not like fuck. I had to go all across the country. You know what I mean? Like boom, here we go, boom, middleman.
That's why
Like we all
Chicago's
gotta
the
meet.
best, the hub.
We gotta
Chicago's the
meet in
hub, it's
fucking
center.
Nebraska or some shit. It's right in the middle
Ugh,
of the
fuck
fucking country.
Nebraska. They don't allow weed there. Fuck those motherfuckers.
That's why
The
I want to go
hub.
set it up, baby. No, I'm just kidding.
Mrs. Weedman and I have a project that we're gonna do, and we'll talk about it off air. But this will happen. You will all be invited to this, and if you can make it, great. You can't. So we do have something planned in the future. I was telling Big Earl
Sweet.
about it. But go ahead. So tell me. So the seed types that
Look, everything that I've been doing the past at least 5 years or more has been very, very directional breeding. I had certain goals in mind. Like I said, whether if it was wanting to keep a certain trait around or find a male that had. So here's what I did with the blue cherry line. I really, really liked the. Well, it was called Mendo. It wasn't actually called anything. It was just a fucking strain crossed to another strain, crossed to another strain. I called it Mendo cherries. It ended up becoming named Mendocino Maraschino by the original breeder, so that was the I found a couple really really nice phenos that were just amazing floral cherries, and one was more sour cherries, and I worked both of those out, and then made the blue cherries line. So the Mendocino Maraschino F1 number 3 I hit with my Bluetopia F2, which was one of my original creations. I had an F2 male, hit that onto that. That's when blue cherries was born. My goal with the blue cherries line was to find a male that exhibited the female that I liked, fucking like the same traits, the same look, and then the stem rub was similar. Everything about it was what I was looking for. I found a badass male with that, made a whole blue cherries line. You know what I mean? But like I said, it was directional at that point because I actually knew what I was looking for. I knew I wanted to put cherries on top of everything else. So I hit a bunch of different elite clone onlys. I hit other things that I had made myself, like the Dose Utopia. That was one of my original creations. I hit the Dose Utopia with the blue cherries, made Cherrytopia. Made a whole other line from that because the goal with that was to get more of the cherries, but with a bigger, like a better lollipop structure that's gonna exude fucking washing capabilities and be just potent cherry, just nasty, and it worked. Cherrytopia line. Still have some of those available. Blue Cherry line sold out. All the Bluetopia work sold out. All that stuff's gone. I have my own stuff to work through to try to bring back at some point. But moving forward, um, I've done so much cherry work, and don't get me wrong, I love it. I just have so much cherries that I don't need to make more cherry stuff at this point, which I still will a little bit. But I'm kind of moving towards uh, preservation work with old varieties and mashups with OGs, chem sours, hazes, things of that sort. If I can,
skunk, we're trying to help Nick
uh,
from Magic Beans out. You got any skunk? He's still looking to this day.
so yeah, nothing that's actual skunk. You get skunk traits in a lot of the sours, chems, and like not really the OG so much because that's more like gas and earth. But in the sours and chems, you kind of can find like that rancid uh, terp that people are talking about in the skunk. But no, we ran some skunk one last year. Ran some skunk cross to Romulan from I believe it was like Jaime Chiba or something. And there were some nice looking plants. The skunk one we ran was from Ag Seco. There was just no skunk in it. You know what I mean? Like no offense to them. Maybe not everything is supposed to be skunk, but I just feel like I don't know, man. It's got the wrong name attached to it. If it doesn't have any just rancid type of vibes, like dead bodies, fucking, you know what I mean? Like sour, putrid, just
Yeah.
disgusting. You guys have ever driven by a fucking roadkill skunk? It is unpleasant.
There's a
Makes
lot
your
here in
eyes
Illinois.
burn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fucking rancid.
Yeah.
They, who has that? That's what we're exact. So we're all on the same mission, right?
I don't think
So we're
anybody
trying.
does.
Well, GMO has a lot of that funk to it. Like people call it like a garlicky type of a sour. I don't know. I think it has like or like somewhat earthy tinge to it too, but it's definitely garlicky. And that's Chem D. It's got Chem D influence in it with Girl Scout cookies. Um, I think which brings you back to fucking Chem D.
Let me ask you a question about Girl Scout cookies real quick, because I don't talk much about. We've talked a ton about Chem Dog. We've told the lineage of it on 2 episodes. I've talked about a lot of different, but I don't give any cookies or Girl Scout cookies, which has been around for a minute now. But a lot of strains have come from Girl Scout cookies,
Oh
right? A
yeah,
lot of these strains you're
heavily.
seeing today,
That's American
Yeah,
breeding is like Girl Scout cookies.
right?
yeah. Girl Scout cookies, gelato, and sherbet is basically main staples in a lot of people's breeding today. I even have like I don't really have too many gelato. Well, I'm sorry, I have forbidden gelato, which is forbidden fruit gelato 33 cross Cherrytopia. It's forbidden cherry. Sorry. So I do have gelato in one of my strains too. I will have gelato in upcoming strains as well. We have the gelato 41 and the gelato 33. Um, I have access to a couple other ones, but I have enough gelato. You know what I mean? We have sherb cake. I have my blue cherry sherb, so that's blue sherb cross the blue cherries. Incredible. I got to get you that one, Earl, if you want to run one of mine.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
I have other ones too. It's just what do you want? You know what I mean?
sure. Yeah. Send me what you like, and I'll throw a mail on them.
So the cookies line. Do you think the Sherb Gelato cookies line, that's American breeding? That was all here, right? That was all done in the United States, right?
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm
mostly in
wrong.
the Bay Area.
Right. So from what I've read about lineages and stuff on certain websites and stuff. So with those 3 strains, American breeding, a lot of these strains that all the new school breeders are doing, do they come from those 3 strains?
I wouldn't say that, no, but it's
An
definitely crept
influence?
its way in. It's definitely influenced a lot. Well, what happens is everybody wants to. It's it's like a hype train type of deal, right? Everybody wants to be at the front of it, not the end of it. Because if you're at the end of the hype train, you ain't getting really paid no more. Except for when people come back to that retro shit. If you still got it, like oh shit, I held on to. Oh, we still have the chem sours and OGs, and it's coming full force back to that. The market's revving up to that. It's like cool, we have them. That's awesome, right? But the hype right now is like fuck, I don't even know. I got to keep up on it myself. Like this shit's ever changing. You know what I mean? Like what the consumers want, and it's it's a lot of the same people stuff all every year, all the time. They do a really good job. You know, whatever if it's their marketing, with pictures, with descriptions, with just the way they advertise and market their brand. Some people do fucking amazing jobs with it. I don't know how much they're actually growing. You know what I mean? Some of them are growing a shit ton, and maybe some of them have people that they pay to do the work, and they're just great at fucking making
Marketing.
it all come together. You know what I mean? I'm not very great at marketing and advertising, but I grow thousands of plants. I've grown and seen hundreds of different strains the past 5 years. The library is getting deeper and deeper. And
It's
when I
huge.
say library, I mean our genetics that
Yeah,
we keep on hand. It's ridiculous. We have well over 150 plus varieties at this point.
yeah,
Damn.
it's
That's
huge.
fucking
And it's like
heavy.
classics.
Yeah, bro. Just this breeding project alone that I'm helping my buddy. So this is I'm working collaborating and working with Firekeeper Farms, which is my it's basically one of my good buddies and like slash mentor. You know, I've been able to learn a lot about organics and learn a lot about uh fuck life in general the last fucking year or two. And I've been helping him with the breeding project because I've done a lot more breeding work. This is basically his first breeding project. It's at his house. It's all his stuff. We acquired the genetics together. The Josh D male that was selected and found was out of an original release Karma Genetics and Josh D collab pack, the square packs, the original ones. And there was, I believe, 13 or 15 seeds. I gotta go back. It's all documented, but this is like almost 2.5, 3 years ago now. I think 2 years ago. I forgot. I gotta remember exactly. It might be only getting close to 2 years. I'm terrible when it comes to fucking time. But when we first got out here, we ended up popping a shit ton of seeds. We popped. Well, this was a little before then, but this is before we moved out here. Then. No, baby. That's all right. She's on some other shit. Sorry, guys. That was distracting. When we first moved out here, we popped like 34, 35 different strains, total to about 575 seeds. The Josh D was in that run, and out of all the like, there was a lot of badass strains. Like I had a few of my strains in there that I really loved. Like my Great Maraschino 25 was found in that hunt. There was a lot of cool shit. We have Chem D Irene, two phenos from CSI Humboldt. They're amazing. One leans Chem D, one leans Irene Kush, and they're amazing plants. Either way, that's kind of off topic, but it was part of that same hunt. We also found two really nice female Josh DOGs. One of them is like an absolute fucking banger. It looks almost as good or better than any OG you've ever seen, guaranteed. With just like this fucking like metallic silver sheen over the tri. It's just the trikes are like this plant is just caked, and it just smells like earthy gas. Just if you've ever had a true OG, this is that on a perfect frame. Anyway,
Have you ever made any other types of seeds? Fems, autos, veggies?
no fems, no autos, and veggies just like not on purpose. Just veggies make them fucking selves. You grow some pumpkins, you harvest the pumpkins, you get their seeds in the pumpkins. You know what I mean? But this year we are going to be doing some pepper breeding. So we just popped a bunch, like, fuck, pardon my friend, but I think like 20 different pepper varieties,
Nice.
144 seeds, I believe, because it was two full trays that had fucking like, I don't know. It's a
Damn,
lot of
that's
peppers
pretty
coming.
dope.
We got
Yeah,
about
that's a lot of
60% of them up right now. Yeah, I'll be doing a couple posts at some point. Just we're gonna have a little bit of fun, see what I can or what we can do with peppers.
It's fun, bro.
So we'll have some peppers next year.
30 year of my own pepper. It's fucking fun.
See, we're about, bro. I got some tight shit. I traded some people. We spent some money. I got some cool shit, bro. We got some mutants.
Yeah, post some pictures, man. Post those pictures when they're fucking when the plants are really
Absolutely.
before they start growing the peps, and then fucking start posting all the different peppers, dude. I'd love to see that. That's fucking
Yeah, I have a
dope.
lot to learn about that. Like I don't know anything about pepper breeding, so I'm gonna be watching a couple videos, learning up. You know, just like I have a shit ton to learn about cannabis breeding. Like there's a lot to learn. People anybody can make seeds. You can make seeds, but what are the outcome of those seeds going to be? What is the purpose or potential of those seeds? What is your goal? Like there's a whole bunch of different things in play. Are you trying to go for color, for potency, for looks? Are you trying to stabilize something? Are you trying to fucking keep something around? Are you trying to keep you trying to make that what like do you have a clone only and you're trying to reproduce that clone only in seed form? You know what I mean? That shit takes time.
Yeah.
You at least got to do a couple back cross rounds. You know what I mean? Because if you S1 it, you're not getting fucking genetic copies of everything. You're opening up the gene pool, but in a fem direction. You have to like S2 it and S3 it and so on to start narrowing it down.
Yeah.
I've seen people like hemp farmers that have like S7s and S8s, and they're just fucking on point. They know their shit. You know what I mean? So you go look into some things that have been around a while, some different seed breeding, like different, like you said, uh, hemp hemp seeds that have been legal for a little bit longer. there's a lot more research and development that has happened on those, and they really know their shit. They can tell you exactly what the seeds are gonna do. Every seed is gonna do the same shit. They're just, what is it called? Homogenized?
Yep.
Still learning my words, guys. I just
I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know the word, so thanks.
You said S, like they're femming them to them, like it's a fem, like an 8th generation fem. They don't have any herm or anything.
no. And then some of these hemp breeders are actually breeding for plants that are 50-50 like herm, just because they're trying to make fibrous plants and seeds. So what's the ultimate plant to make if you're doing that? Plant that's going to pollinate itself and all of them around it.
They're dioecious, so do both. Grow them both.
So it's pretty fascinating. You know what? It's literally, what is your goal? If you're trying to make some bomb smoke and you're trying to isolate some flavors and some looks, then you need to do a little bit of breeding and research and figure out, okay, how am I going to get to that? Learn Punnett squares. Learn, dive into to some books.
What's a Punnett square?
It's this little it's a little diagram, little box where there's like 2 squares here, 2 squares there, and the squares can go deeper, like it can go more, but it starts there, and you'd put like capital A here, capital A here. I'm sorry, capital A, capital B, little b, and then like you have the possible outcomes from those potentials within that square. You know what I mean? And you can keep working that square to show all the potential outcomes. And if you wanted to work to find just little b's, because there's going to be dominant and recessive traits. So maybe if little b is a recessive trait, because the capital letters are usually the dominant, little letters are typically the recessives. So maybe you have a recessive trait in a plant that's amazing, but it doesn't show up very often. You have to isolate that. Sorry, you have to isolate the little b to be able to get that where you want it. And that takes time, and it takes knowledge. It takes
And every trait isn't a single square. When a lot of like when you look at it, you can't just be like, oh, a purple flower, big A, big B, little b. Some of these are like multiple, like different sequences that we don't
yeah,
even like, we can't really even know. So you have to go through
exactly.
testing, and you have to say, okay, out of my 100 plants, 33 of them have this trait, and you can, if you do it enough, you can maybe narrow it
Yeah.
down if you're like way smarter than anything I've ever done. But like it's just a guess. You say, hey, this is what I see with my selection, and by putting this information together, I can guess with a pretty good accuracy that this is a recessive trait or this is a super dominant trait. And but so if it's a recessive trait, you have to be very careful to chase that through your work, because if it's something you want and it's recessive, you can lose it fucking instant. You can lose it in one
Yeah.
generation. And so
Yeah,
you
it's just
have to,
gone.
yeah. But if it's dominant, if it's like, hey, this is super dominant on whatever it is, and it's super tricky and it stacks and it's everything you ever wanted and it's super dominant, you have the perfect male donor.
I want to say thank you both because you taught me something I didn't know anything about. I appreciate you both, and all the newbie growers like myself or newbie breeders. You just learned something that probably took some years for these two breeders to, or as Big Earl says it, what do you call it? What do you call yourself?
I chuck pollen. I do not know my numbers. Yeah,
Now,
I
I started out chucking pollen. I feel like I'm doing some good breeding these days though. Like we're and like this next project, like don't get me wrong, we're pollinating 80 plus different cultivars, and some of them are proven amazing. Some of them are our own creation. Some of them are stuff that we found are in our own hunts from seed. But we're really excited about hunting these seeds and finding our own, like you know what I mean, like continuing these things on. And to answer the question earlier, we did make F2s. We are in the process of making Josh DOG F2s. We will make back crosses at some point. You know, there will definitely be a lot of OG work for sure.
Yeah.
One of the phenos might get released because, like I said, we have two Josh DOG female keepers. One of them is just obviously better. You know what I mean? Like one's really good. Like wow, it's even a better yielder. Littler nugs, bigger yield of littler nugs, like little baby golf balls. You know what I mean? I guess like marbles. I guess like not marbles, like the big marbles. What are the big ones? The fucking You guys ever play marbles?
Yeah, you got the shooter marble, the
Yeah,
shooter
the big
marble.
one.
It's all in the thumb. It's all in the thumb. Never forget that.
Exactly. It's all in the tongue. Get you some marbles, Earl. Yeah, that was
Get
one of
you
the game.
some-
Marbles and Pogs back in the day. That shit was fun.
yeah.
I'm old though.
Big girl, you got some knowledge you want to throw at Mike over here? You got some questions you want to ask?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I So we talked about your Josh D project a little bit.
Yeah.
What's your best plant in there? What should we look? What's Josh D hidden that's like the one that you would take?
I keep the funny thing is that me and the homie Firekeeper here, we're obviously down there every day. I'm down there a lot, like looking at these plants, and it's so difficult to literally choose between 80 different fucking elite plants where you're like, oh my god, oh look at this one, or oh, so like how do you choose between Chem 91 and Triangle Kush? You know what I mean? How do you choose between uh Chem D and fucking Ghost OG? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard. I'm extremely excited for all these things because if you were able to actually see them in person and smell them and just I don't know, dude, it's pretty phenomenal. I'm pretty excited. Like
Oh yeah,
it's definitely the most epic run that I mean, I think the most pollinations that I've done at one time was with the blue cherry line. I think I hit about 25 to 28 different varieties when I did that with the same male. This is literally like 80. Well, I have 79 on my list, but then we added a few. Like we added in the white. It was just a small one in a 1 gallon, but the white cross to Josh D, bro. Basically, we're making the white OG, which is a Karma original. So we're not gonna call
man.
it white OG, but that's what it's gonna be. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Pretty good.
out of my own stuff, I have 5 different crosses of my own work that's all getting hit with Josh D. We have my Great Maraschino 25, which is an OGKB leaner. It's gorgeous plant. It was found in that 550 plus seed hunt that we did.
Fuck
Uh,
yeah.
That answers a question because we were going to ask you how many fucking seeds you had to hunt through to get through that. You fucking nailed it. 550? Good lordy.
yeah, yeah.
That's fun.
Well, it was. See, now I don't want to confuse anybody. It wasn't 550 Josh DOG seeds, which would have been epic if that was the case. But there was 500 and I think like 75 seeds total, 34, 35 different varieties from a lot of different breeders, like in-house, Sin City, like I said, Ag Seed Co., a bunch of different people.
What do you have in there from Sin? You have any of his nightmare stuff? I've been fucking loving that, dude.
Man, I don't have that. I have a Blue Power Pheno that's just phenomenal though.
Fuck
Blue
yeah.
Power Josh D coming. It's a
Mhm.
smaller plant, so it's going to be a lot less of a success on the. I think maybe if I'm guessing correct, probably 500 to 1,000 seeds. So gauging
Hey,
how many go back, to you got to hold back some, for your own purposes whenever you're making
oh yeah.
seeds. If anybody out there wants to make seeds, I failed on a couple of mine, and I don't have any of those strains like in the early or some of my early stuff. Besides, like I have Bluetopia and a couple others, but there's some other things that were like in between that I lost, sold them all off, said didn't really check my own stuff, and I was like, well, where's mine? And like mine got made into packs and fucking they're gone. They're either given away or sold. It just is what it is. I hope people find some cool stuff in it. But since then, I've kind of learned when you first make your seeds, try to put like 100 to 500 of your seeds away for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing a collab with somebody, make sure that you both get some seeds aside for yourselves and then split the rest. You know what I mean? Say, okay, hey, we're gonna both get 250 each to put aside for us. Or do you want to keep your half? I'll keep mine. You can do what you will. You know what I mean? You got to think about that kind of stuff if you're going to get into a collab with somebody, if you're going to make seeds, if you're going to take on other people's clones or whatever and hit with your mail, or maybe you have an idea to reverse one of your clone onlys onto some other things. Either way, there's a lot of collabs happening in the community, and I think the best thing to do is be smart about communicating with the people you're going to be working with,
Oh
because
yeah.
I think a lot of
Awesome.
the bad things that have come up in my personal life have been probably communicate and Don't even do collabs for a while. Just do your own thing. It's my opinion. You know. It's my opinion. You know.
What a problem I've run into with because I collect, I have whole lines I haven't released because I was like, well, I've only got 100 to 200 seeds of this, and I'm keeping all of them. What do you
Right.
store yours in, dude? I found like this little Tic Tac collab, like this little box that holds like these little Tic Tac looking cases, and if I fill them up, it's almost always right there around 200 seeds. But I can put like
Let me show
20
you.
stones in a little box. I've been
Well,
loving.
like if I have a lot, like I'll use like jars, like little mason jars and shit,
Oh, that makes
and
sense. Yeah.
I kind of leave stuff at a room temperature type of vibe, to be 1,000% honest with you, because if there's seeds I'm gonna sell, or if there's seeds I plan to run at some point soon, like when I say soon, I mean within like the next year or so. I I try to leave. I try to leave because if you start putting your stuff in a refrigerator, it's like environment, you have to leave it there until you plan to pop that shit. Because what's happening is you're winterizing your seeds, which is what happens to seeds over winter. And then what happens after winter? Springtime, things thaw out. What happens?
Boom.
Okay? You can't just move your shit from fucking free. Oh, I'm going to take it from a refrigerator to a, you know what I mean? Like, go,
Yeah.
if you better stay there long term. That's the best thing to do long term. But if you have your seeds in a short term situation, like I said, anywhere from 1 to 3 years, in my opinion, you should be good in a room temperature scenario. I have had no problems popping any and all of my seeds that I've had stored in my fucking tupper. Like it's one of those big giant totes. Just put your seeds in there. Leave it up on a fucking shelf somewhere. Leave it alone. You're good.
I did not know that. You taught me fucking two things today. That
And
fucking
look at
square,
this.
that fucking square thing. And then I don't breed. I don't breed, so I just throw all my seeds in my fridge. Yeah, I got a little beer cooler. I
Yeah,
keep them in and shit like that. But
you're
I'm not
good.
going to use them fast. I grow one or two plants every 90 days, so I don't. I keep them in there, take them out when I'm ready, leave them out for a couple days, and let them.
Yeah.
But that's something I didn't know. I
I'm
appreciate you.
sure
That
you.
taught.
I'm sure you know that me and Earl will give you seeds whenever you need them too. All
I
day.
appreciate you. Thank
I
you.
vouch
Oh
for
man,
Earl.
I dropped off like 20 packs of seeds at his house the other day.
See,
Yeah,
see,
I'm
I
all the
knew it.
homies were. All the homies were happy, so they were all happy. They were happy as fuck because I called T my tech, give him 3 packs, especially the Goku one. He was super
There you
stoked.
go.
I gave Dive Boy one of the other peeps that helps us with the show, and then I had some people over that do this networking thing called Profesh Sesh, and they were super happy when I gave them some of Earl seeds. So Earl said, "Give them away.
There you go.
I'm gonna give them to people."
Seeds.
Oh yeah,
For 'em, give them a little bit of love.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
put them in a
I make
12-12
the
life
rounds.
cycle.
I haven't thrown a Big Earl fucking grow in a hot minute because I've been so yours is next. I'm popping one of those autos next, so I'm pretty
Oh yeah.
excited.
Bro.
Dude,
Yeah,
I need to send you guys both some packs. Earl, I know that we had talked about me getting you some packs for some
Yeah.
giveaways on the Discord and other things.
hell yeah.
So make sure you guys get with me because I got a lot going on.
We
So of
appreciate you just coming on the show tonight.
course.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go and throw that. So are you planning on so you kept with this Josh D how many males you kept? One male?
There were actually 3 in the beginning, then we culled it down to 2. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
No,
interrupted
I'm
you a little
just
bit.
gonna. I didn't know if you kept one male and one female, or if you did more of like a open pollination concept with them a little bit. So you didn't. I think they term it bottleneck a little bit. I didn't know if you're worried about that. I wouldn't think you would be with all F1s, but
Yeah. No.
what made you choose that male or two males?
So there was 3, and then there was like 4 females. So yeah, originally
Yeah,
the original goal was gonna be if they all looked, up to the part, then all of them would get together, and that would be that basically. Uh, it's not even really a technically open poll because that's not even that many fucking plants. You know what I mean? Technically, it's just making F2s. You know, you just would have
yeah,
more genetic
yeah,
diversity going into the mix, so that what you get out of it is even more.
yeah, yeah.
That's all that I like. So us having the one Josh Dog male now and the 2 females still makes the F2s pretty nice, because the ladies are just a little bit different.
Yeah.
you know. So like if they were identical, then it's like why even you why we wouldn't have two. We'd have one if they were like identical. You know, you pick the most vigorous, the most resistant of the two. Which one can handle heat stress, drought tolerance? Which one can handle cold temperatures? Which one can handle
Yeah.
overwatering? Which one, you know what I mean? Which one do they have any intersex issues? You know,
Yeah.
you gotta run. And these plants have been ran multiple times, so it helps that we've actually ran these plants and we've seen them in different environments and seen how they do. So we're confident.
Are you are you gonna name those F2s differently?
You know what? I'm pretty sure we'll keep them separate, and then just because it's just going to be better. Like I think that the line is just going to be crazy. Now, if we're gonna do like an F2 run, yeah, we might take 50 of both and then just run them. You know, put them in a fucking shaker and just mix them up and run them, and
Yeah.
that's the F2 batch. You know, between the two. I'd like to see how it would work. I'd like to see the number 5 ran with just the Josh D, the number 12, and then a little bit of both, just to kind of see how they all do, how the consistency is between them. I think it'd be pretty interesting.
You have your eye on one cross in particular for like a back cross maybe on
Man,
your next Josh D? You thought maybe am I getting ahead of
so many.
myself?
No, there's just so many options, dude. It's like it's hard.
Multiple back crosses.
Yeah, well, there's so many directions to go, and you know, like Dog Walker OG cross the Josh D, the Jet Fuel OG Josh D OG, the Ghost OG. Like, bro, there's just so many different. It's like, fuck, I don't know what to choose. There's so many. I gotta pick one that you know what I mean? Yeah, the Bubba Kush Josh D, like, bro. And then there's
Ooh.
some new age shit I'm
I love
excited for.
I love I am a Kush
Oh yeah,
connoisseur. I love this. That's been me and Mrs. Weedman fave. I mean, soon as when I got her into smoking and she tried her first Kush, changed her world. Like was like, what is this strain? It any probably about 80% of the Kush strains she smoked had done well for her. So when you mentioned Kush, boy,
oh yeah.
I don't have any hair in my head, but the hairs on my back stood straight up and went tingly, tingly, tingly.
Hell yeah. It's just a real. And it's one of those plants that you get what you expect. If it's a good version, you get exactly what you're expecting every time. You're like, oh, it's like a time machine. Like, oh wow, there it is, there it
Yeah.
is. There's some that I'm waiting to come across again that I haven't had that I'm gonna be attempting to remake here pretty soon. Like other people have made their versions and I haven't tried their version. But like so, for example, Bubbleberry by Sagarmartha Seeds, Riot Seeds made a version of his. It's Bubbleberry V2. Now I'm not trying to name it Bubbleberry or nothing like that, but I do have the original Blueberry, and I do
Oh, you
have
shit me?
Indiana Bubblegum,
You
and
got
I
the
would
you
like
hold on a
to make
second. Say
Fems.
you have that was like my first experience
Yeah.
The short?
with really
Oh
good
man.
weed. This is
Yeah.
going back to 19
Yeah.
this is going back to 1996.
I'll have to send you some. You
Unbelievable.
like
I mean,
blueberry,
that
huh?
changed my world. I mean,
Yeah.
that changed my world about weed. I didn't know shit. Like that was like
Blueberry
my
was your
first
Kush.
huh?
Blueberry was your Kush.
Oh yeah, dude. But that was my first experience
Yeah.
with like fucking phenomenal weed because I knew this kid that
So
gave me fucking
I
nugs,
got to get Earl that
gave
cut.
me nugs of it. This is 1996 now. Gave me some nugs, and I nicknamed him Blueberry. And I was every time I don't even know his fucking real name to this day because his name to me was Blueberry. I said, dude, what are you giving me here? This smells like nothing I've ever smelled before. And we smoked it. I'm like, dude, this is nothing I've ever had before in my whole entire life. This is the best high I've ever felt. I feel great. I want to go fucking either go for a run or I want to go lay on the couch and chill. I can think clearly. I can drive straight. This fucking strain is the best. And from that day on, he became Blueberry. Because I said, what is this called? He's like, Blueberry. I said, that's your name. I christen you Blueberry. Psh, and banged him over the head with a big fat
Fuck
doink.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, I have that. So with that actual blueberry and bubblegum are both getting pollinated by Josh D in this run right now. This blueberry, I shit you not. You go and you do like a so we don't touch the buds. I don't know if you're a grower, if you're a gardener, or if you're getting into what. Don't fucking manhandle the buds. If you want to get the smell, just take your fingers and go to a sugar leaf.
The
It's one of the
best.
small leaves sticking out of the bud,
Best.
and go and just give it a little rub, and then put that right in your nose, and then you get a full, robust aromatic uh, uh,
Mm. This one nostril does me well
scent.
with the sugar leaf every time. The one nostril.
Just saying, that's all you need. It just bothers me every time I see someone just manhandling a bud. They're like, oh, look at this thing. There you go. I'm like, your whole hand is full of trikes in that poor fucking
I don't
bud.
even when I go to roll a joint, or I don't roll a joint, I stuff a joint or fucking whatever. I use a scissor now. I cut my butt up with a scissor. I want everything. I don't want nothing falling in my, unless I'm rolling a lot of joints and then I got to. But if I'm doing it for myself, I just use a little fucking fishing scissor,
Right?
man, a little sharp fishing scissor, and cut that up and put that in there instead. It's a little bit different because you're not losing anything at all, and I'm not getting it on my
Yeah.
fingers because I got a little scooper.
I'm not
Everything
losing
I
one
want,
fucking
everything.
trike.
Big Earl knows about the scooper, don't you, Big
Yeah.
Earl?
Oh
You got
yeah.
a scooper.
I take the keef catch out of my grinder,
There you
and it
go.
makes for a super deep catch. And then I can roll big ass joints anytime I want. Just fucking
That's what it
put
takes.
like 4 grams in there. Take that little screen out of that bad boy.
That's what I'm saying though. So I mean, because I know when I don't grow, I grow. I'm a home grower. I'm a fucking newbie grower. But when I look at my buds, like you said, I don't touch those things at all. I even hate even having to move them. Like
Yeah.
I want them like I don't when there's like I gotta move something around. I'm going from the above bottom trying to move that shit because I don't want to touch. I'm like squeezing my fingers like in between trying to move that shit, and then I just go.
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, it's best, to limit how much you're touching the bud sites and or areas that have trichomes. So that's a lot of areas on a flowering plant once it gets past
You're
like week
popping the
3,
babies. You're
potentially
popping
week
what you
2 if you
want.
got some
You're
frosty
bursting
shit.
those little beautiful fucking trikes, man. You're getting it all over your fingers. You ain't smoking it. You ain't getting it. Not helping you. It's a
So
waste.
it's like you can argue again, like, come on, man, like it's like kind of petty, but
Yeah.
like, nah, dude, it's more about keeping the integrity of the plant intact as much as possible. You know what I
You're
mean?
hurting the midichlorians. You're hurting the midichlorians that live on that plant. Don't you understand? There's midichlorians all over that plant, man.
You
You're
need the
fucking those
midichlorian.
things up.
This shit
It
matters,
does.
man.
I'm not making fun of it at all. I'm 100% with you, man. I just call them midichlorians. The little trichomes are midichlorians, man. Those are the things that live with it. That
Oh
gives me the
yeah,
force powers. I don't have Darth Vader on
sure,
my arm
sure
for
the fuck
nothing,
does.
man.
Speaking of speaking of the Force, I have Skywalker OG that'll be in on the
Oh,
next round. So we have
oh,
this first round is epic, but the next round is going to be just as epic. We have at least another 60 plus going in the next round with the same male, and it's going to be a lot of amazing things. So, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned there's some new age shit that I'm kind of
ooh,
excited
let's hear
for
about
too.
it.
So, like, we have GMO in there. We have GMO. We have GMO root beer, which is two, but it's the same coin, different sides of the same coin, basically. But it's fire, you know what I mean? And they wash. So if you're looking for something that's going to produce uh, hash, so that you can make rosin and whatever else.
That's the reason GMO is popular that a lot of people don't recognize. It's a great flavor and it's different and it's terpy as fuck and it's easy to grow and it's gonna be as rank as anything else in your garden probably. But it also washes and when it's crossed to something, usually that washes also. I'm not
Why
even a
is
hash
that?
guy. I fucking know
Why
that.
is that strain so popular? I'm not. I've only had it once, but I mean, I had it. I didn't.
That's the problem. So it's one of those strains where if it's not grown well, if it's not dried and cured well, it's not going to be what you thought it was going to be. It's not going to be like a blueberry or an orange strain because those are just smack you in the face terps no matter how. You could be the worst grower ever, dry that shit in a barn, and it's still going to taste like oranges. You know what I mean? Like, fuck yeah, I did it. I'm the greatest ever. Like, right on, dude. It's like you can't fuck that up. It's kind of a dead ringer. Good shit.
Dude, I'll bring you
But
some GMO, and you'll know why.
All right, yeah, because
Right.
like I said, you and I, Big Earl, you and I talked about GMO. I'm like, I know it. I think I've had. Someone gave me a nug of it, and it was just didn't. I was like, okay, what's the big deal about it? But I yeah. So
Look,
I mean,
when I
whatever.
was
I
on
mean,
Honorary, So like the smell of it makes my wife gag. And when I'm feeling a little ornery, I'll be sitting there trimming it or something, or I'll get my little jar out. And I'll be like, "Hey, what do you think this smells like?" Because I do that to her all the time. Because I always have different crosses and stuff. And I'm like, "Well, it smells like this to me. What does it smell like to you?" And she'll smell it. She's like, "Oh, I don't like that one." I'll be like, "Yeah, that's the GMO one."
Yeah, perfect.
It's like
Like
a
it,
rotten.
I can't wait to have her on the show. This is gonna be great.
Oh,
that's
dude,
how we
it's gonna
know.
be-
Like,
she's
let
gonna
her
air
smell it.
me.
If she doesn't like it, it's good.
Yeah, that's the GMO every time. She's like, "Oh, I don't like that one." I'm like, "I
Like,
know."
I had my buddy run one of my cat piss crosses, and he's like, "My whole house smells like piss. I don't like this." So I'm like, "Man, it's supposed to. That's a great. That's what we're looking for.
It's in the
You found
name.
you found the pissy one. Supposed to." He's all, "It smells worse than my kids." I'm like,
Oh shit. What are you doing for 420?
same shit I do every day, man.
No, getting baked.
There it is, 420.
Yeah, no, well, I get I get higher than most people on everything. I'm I'm fucking dove the fuck in on my on the work here. Like, there's a lot of plants to take care of and tend to. There's a lot of shit happening all the time, and
Yeah.
I don't even smoke as much as I'd like to. I still smoke a good amount, but like, man, if I didn't, if I just had someone handing me joints when I was down there working, ooh, that'd be tight. I don't have
I'd
that
like to
happening
smoke
yet.
a little more.
Her leg has to get better. Love you.
Are you gonna reverse anything? When are you gonna reverse something, bro?
There you
I know
go.
everybody's asking you for the films. That's all anybody ever talks about.
Man, yeah, everybody and their mom wants fucking femmes, and I'm like, I get it, I get it. They want easy. Like, I don't want males. Like, dude, it's easy. Just get rid of them or give them to someone else. Because there's a lot of people that actually want a solid male. Soon though, Earl.
Let me
Soon,
let
nice,
me
good.
let me explain my reasoning why, and I've had this talk with a couple of other breeders. I grow regs, but a good fem every once in a while is nice just to give me that quick grow, and then I'll go back to a reg because when you have a tent that only holds 2 plants solidly, like I put 3 in that tent and 4 one time, and it's like I got a 2x4x5 tent. It's fucking small. So if I grow regs, I got to grow at least 5 to try to get a fucking 4 to 5 to try to get a female. Sometimes you get lucky, you get 3. Sometimes you might get lucky, you get 4, and you put one outside because you know it ain't gonna fit in there. So my thing is, I understand the reasoning why a small home grower looks for femmes: money, time, effort.
Yeah, and I think at some level there's certain fem crosses that are you can make any fem cross as long as uh whatever you're reversing actually is. I guess everything is reversible, but not everything has viable pollen that you reverse, from my understanding. Now, I haven't made any fems. I've done a shit ton of research, talked to a bunch of people that have done some fems successfully. I have a plan of attack, and I'm ready to do it. But um, fems is like the easy way, and I'm saying as a breeder, fems is the easy way as a breeder. You're taking something that's fuck yeah. You're taking an elite something that's fucking great times another elite something that is great. Come on, the outcome should be pretty fucking great usually. And don't get me wrong, like I said, not everything fucking reverses well, so you might have trouble. Like, there's some things that people like. I can't name them off the top of my head, but there's like notoriously harder to reverse. Like, I forget what off the top of my head. Like I said, I can't think of it right now, but like, there's CSI is one of like the breeders that I know has been able to reverse damn near everything and has made a shit ton, if not uh, at least a preservation amount of work on things. So there, you just have to understand what's happening and why it's happening in the plant. You fucking, it's all about hormones and what fucking what are they? Not ethylene blockers, but I don't know all the fucking. Don't quote me right now on this, but either way, I'll be making fems and I'll know my shit.
That's cool. No, that's cool. No, man. Like I said, I hear what a lot of breeders talk about. You have a lot of OGs that don't even want to touch it. You know, uh, I think it's good for a lot of reasons, and like
It's
I said,
good
I
for the
go
home
reg.
grower for sure. It's beneficial because now the only problem is that since fems are pretty easy to make, a lot of people are just taking and trying to make fems with anything, not actually knowing if, oh hey, is this got hermaphroditic or intertrait sex issues, and it's so easy to reverse because it has those issues. You know what I mean? and and now not only do you so you're still gonna, it doesn't matter if you have a male in there now you have an unstable fem that's gonna hermaphrodite on you at week fucking 3 or 4 when it definitely shouldn't, and it's gonna give you a bunch of seeds you didn't want. Cheers.
Salute.
So
I'll join you.
here's my pitch for regular seeds in a small tent. Okay, you got a 2x4 tent. You pop 5 seeds. You get 3 males and 2 females. You take those, you let those males. So you have a couple weeks, right? You're gonna start seeing that male come out like 5 days probably into flower, and you're probably gonna have until like day 14 probably later than that before they open up. So you give them 10 days. You watch them real good. Once they stack a couple balls, take them out of the tent. Just get them under a light somewhere else in the house. You find your strongest one, wait for it to open up some pollen, throw that shit in a little Ziploc bag, and go throw that over one branch of your ladies.
There
And
you
now
get
all of a
seeds.
sudden, you just made 100 seeds of the plants that are going to be best in your garden, or at least the female, because that's what that female looked like in your garden. And you can buy, you just made a ton of seeds, your own cross. It's, hopefully you won't know stability.
I
It'll
was
take
gonna
a
do
few
that
hours.
one day too. Remember I told you I had the Majin Vegeta, that male, and I collected a bunch of
Yeah,
pollen I still haven't given to you yet, so it's probably bad. It's in the freezer.
yeah.
But
You keep forgetting.
yeah. I got an actually nice real fucking yield of that. I got like fucking I actually got some nice fucking
From Ghost
buds from that.
Genetics.
I did.
The cut of that
And
that I ran was fire. Was really nice.
yeah, it was a good the Majin. I'm a huge I am a
Nice.
huge fucking nerd. I'm like the biggest nerd. I fucking love anime, and I have
Oh, I bet.
Majin Vegeta on my arm. So
So
when I
what do
saw
I name? What do I need to name a strain so that you're gonna want it, bro? What Pokemon name is gonna
I
lure
don't like
you in?
Pokemon. I shouldn't say I don't like Pokemon. I don't watch Pokemon
I'm just
anymore.
fucking with you, man. What anime? What anime name?
Ah, fucking, you got to do a fucking old one for me. You got to do like a Cowboy Bebop or a Yu Yu Hakusho or a fucking. You got one of those two right there.
Cue that strain.
Do a Cowboy Bebop for us. The
I
fucking
swear I
anime world will
will.
go. Fuck, that's an OG right there. Berserk.
Okay.
There's another fucking one right there too. Berserk would be a good one. There's two. I gave you three
You
really
just
good
let me
names.
know. You just let me know what the flavors you want them to be, and that's what
Okay.
we'll do.
All right, we'll talk.
I'm
Absolutely.
dead serious. Me and
Fun.
Earl were talking about doing a collab soon. Maybe we make a
Yeah,
collab strain that's for you.
there you
That's
go.
cool. I
Throw that
like
in
it.
there.
Hell yeah.
All
All
right.
the homies, all anime nerds will love that. We'll go to C2E2 holding up the fucking packs.
I'm down. I know I don't look very anime, right? But I'll try to twist up the beard, do some cool stuff or something.
Fuck yeah. I'll fem out like that peanut butter breath or something to whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, whatever your favorite strains are, we just put those two together. Like I said,
Hey,
anything is possible when
See, here's the thing.
when
Here's
it
the thing.
comes to this.
that's true.
I love Kush. I've told you that, but
Oh
I've
man,
never.
I got you covered.
I enjoy cannabis so much. The smoking of it, just the vibe of it. There's not just one strain. I know shitty weed because I fucking sold it, and I know the shittiest of the dirtiest of the dirt weed you'll ever
Right.
fucking see on the face of the earth. But I enjoy weed because it's in me. You know what I'm saying? So
Of course.
there's make me something that blows me away. And Earl's been bringing me some fire fucking stuff, and I'm just like, you got to try this. You got to try this. You got to try this. It's amazing. It's amazing. This
right.
fucking strain here, this fucking Ursula Berry BX is fucking great. This sour poo is amazing. This lava cake is
All of
fucking
it.
melting me. You see what I'm saying? So there's not. It's just I'm a I'm a kind of whore, I guess. I'm a whore for when it comes to weed, or a slut, whatever you want to fucking call me. I'm not just biased to one. I enjoy people's grow because they have their passion, their heart, their talent, their fucking time that it takes. So I guess what I have to say is about weed. There's not just one strain that's like I need. I want to try more strains from people. I want to try.
Absolutely.
I want to come and visit you and look at your farm and see what you do. Just so because I want to learn, not just to do it, to just be knowledgeable and then smoke some of your strains because you took that baby and you grew it into something beautiful. That's me. That's what I love about weed. And I love to talk to people about it all the time. So I mean, and I'm passionate about it. So
Hell yeah.
that's all you need to know. That's me. So you and Earl come up. I just gave you my story for a second. So come up with a fucking strain.
I think I got you on that. Got lots of different kush to choose from too.
There you go, Miss Weedman. Woo, she'll love you. So you got anything else, man? Mike, it's been a pleasure. You got anything else before we fucking wrap this up?
Just thank you guys for the time and for the positive vibes. Have anybody wants to check it out? It's Straight A Genetics on IG, all together, no GH, STRAITA Genetics. If you want to check out any of my work, you can find me at sleptonseedbank.com. If you can't find stuff that you might be interested on there because we need to update the site, you can also hit our email up at sleptonseedbank@gmail.com. You can always get a hold of me directly that way. I'm pretty much, it's either me or Deb, and it's usually always me. She's got school right now, so I can't really expect her to do that kind of stuff.
And what's dope is your Instagram live stuff you do too is pretty dope, man. When you spend some time on that.
I got to get back into it, man. It's been like 3 months since I've done an Instagram live.
It'll be a party then the next one.
Right? Hey, people haven't seen me in a while. They'll be like, "Oh my god, this guy has a full-on beard now."
Yeah, man.
You know what? She likes it. It's it's a lot when you're eating burgers and shit. It's like I gotta fucking
Tuck it into your t-shirt.
I get it now. Oh yeah, it's getting longer and longer. I see a little bit in there, so
I see it. But yeah, everything's going great. We have a big year ahead of us. There's going to be a lot of amazing strains coming out of this camp. If you don't follow Firekeeper Farms, you should. That's my homie. That's the guy who owns the farm. I work here, and I'm collaborating on all this stuff, and it's a pleasure. You know what I mean? I'm learning a lot. I have learned a lot. I'm getting better. I'm 40 years old now. Recently, 5 years alcohol free, 10 years cigarette free, and the best shape I've been in since high school. It's all doable, people.
Hell yeah! Thanks for the
where
positive
focus
vibe
goes,
on the end,
energy
man.
flows.
Yeah, thanks for the positive
it's
vibe.
about,
That
man.
last dab, man. Fucking, we got some straight up mentorship from fucking Mike Strait right there, baby. I love
That's
it.
right.
Peace, man. I love it.
2 dabs and a J, we're good.
Big Earl, you got anything else to say, my brother?
Yeah, you guys, the Cal Mag. Fuck, don't forget it.
Don't forget the Cal Mag, everybody. Peace. Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.